Hello, fellow fools, and welcome to your timeless pick a pile reading with your host, me. My name is Bren. I use they, them pronouns. And today, although this is a timeless reading, you can watch this anytime that you feel called to this video. We are approaching a Taurus full moon. So, Taurus is that sensual sign of, the good things in life. Enjoying a good meal and enjoying nice, soft, cuddly fabrics and enjoying the natural natures that Earth has to offer, like flowers. Anything that gets the senses going, Taurus loves. Taurus is a sign that's ruled by the planet Venus, which is a relational sign, definitely about trying to keep the peace and having joy. Yeah, just joy in general. And Venus is all those beautiful things in life that we like to appreciate. Yes, relationships, but also could just be anything that we can hold with our hands as well. So the mantra, I believe, I didn't bring my Moonology deck like I usually use for these readings, but I believe the mantra for the full moon Taurus is, your dreams need a practical plan. Something along those lines, or your desires need a practical plan. So now's a good time to reflect, while the moon's illuminated, we can see things a little bit more clearly. It's a great time to evaluate and we have a little excitement from the dog here too. So, oh my goodness, hi. We're getting a lot of excitement. And dogs symbolize loyalty, so I usually don't do readings here. This isn't my normal place to do readings, but this is where I'm at for this Taurus full moon. So, a dog symbolizes loyalty, and so maybe now's a good time to evaluate, who are people in your life who are loyal to you? Who are you loyal to? And what values are you also loyal to? Because sometimes we are loyal to things that it's just comfortable. That's why we're loyal to them. It's like they didn't really earn that or deserve that, but just because it's the status quo, just because we've been doing it, that can sometimes feel like we should continue being loyal, when really now might be a good time to evaluate, is my loyalty actually deserved? Or maybe it is deserved and maybe it should be rewarded as well. Oh, this person has really had my back every time I've asked them for help. Maybe now's a good time to reward them for their loyalty. Loyalty is a great thing to have. So just so you know how this works, we do pick a pile. So today, actually, we did pyrite last time. So we're actually going to do Celestite this time for the tarot pile. We are going to do an overview reading in just a moment, but just so you know, you will have an option to pick either the tarot pile for your pick a pile reading, or you will be able to pick the oracle pile, which this oracle, I also did not do my research. I believe it's and I'll have it linked. So if you want to find this deck, it's the 52 relaxation oracle, something like that. It's really cute. It has great art. So before we do that, though, we're going to start with just an overall reading of this energy that we're experiencing as a collective. And this will help you also tap into maybe certain energies that you want to ask about during this reading. If you are looking for something specific, now's a great time to just kind of ponder that. All right. So it looks like we have a couple cards already flying out. So with the 52 Oracle deck, we have Tea for One. It's so cute. I love the art in this book. And I'm a big tea drinker. I'm drinking tea on tap at all times. And this, I just got a new sticker for my tea mug, and it's the 10 of Cups. And I love 10 of Cups. It's a tarot card that is associated with happily ever afters and emotional fulfillment and completion. So this is my tea for one that I just want to share with you. Maybe now's a great time to have a tea date with just you. There's great meditation practices with tea, I believe, especially in Eastern cultures, where it's a breathing exercise. The tea is really hot, so you blow on the tea. It's a whole experience and breathing exercise and meditation to drink a cup of tea. So that this card might be an invitation for all of us to really enjoy just what we have. Do we have fresh running water? That's something to be grateful for. Do we have fresh flowers, to appreciate? That's something to be grateful for. A lot of the joys of life are in the little things, and we have a million little pleasures every day that we sometimes take for granted or don't notice because they happen all the time, or it's like, yeah, it's just a natural part of our life. So now's a time to call in appreciation for all the things that make our lives worth living. I do want to read this to you as well. It says, take a vacation in a cup, keep a personal teapot and collection of your favorite teas on hand, sit quietly, sip, and feel the warmth spread throughout your body. Certain herb teas are supposed to soothe the spirit. Others are said to uplift it. Chamomile and valerian root are known to relax, while mint and lemon can perhaps rejuvenate. There are also dream teas, which are said to help send you peacefully into slumberland with pleasant dreams. So that is so beautiful. Definitely talking about maybe also being mindful about what you're putting in your body, because different teas have different purposes. Are you maybe drinking a lot of caffeine and want to, cut that down because you're struggling with your sleep, because sleep is really important. That's the number one thing that I've heard from people recently, is that a lot of people have been losing sleep lately. It's also kind of interesting. Well, first of all, get your sleep. Your sleep's really important. So if you haven't been able to get rest or whatever, make time in whatever way you can, even if it is that peaceful 10-minute moment where you sip your tea and just turn your brain off. That kind of thing. That's really important, not to always be spiraling in the head. But I've also been working on this astrology presentation for the Denver Astrology Meetup. We host a astrology lecture every month, and I'm hosting this month, and my lecture is on the 12th house. And the 12th house in astrology is all about your subconscious and your dreams, like the kind of dreams you have when you go to sleep. So that has definitely been in my mind, like how can we bring the subconscious into the conscious realm? And a beautiful thing that I was thinking about, I forget where I got this information, but someone had said, I believe it was actually Martin Schulman's Karmic Astrology book, that in order to access the subconscious, we can't just directly go to it through our consciousness. Like we can't just look at a dream as fact, there's symbolism in there, there's hidden meaning, things that are really rich. We have to use our creative mind and our interpretive skills and our feelings and our intuition to dissect the meaning of things. So instead of like logicifying your life right now, it might be great to just understand things through symbolism and feelings and not overthink things too much. I believe that's the Tea for One message for us as a collective. And we also have a tarot card, which is amazing. This is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. I love that this came up because actually this card I got at a little, at Ritual Craft here in Denver. If you live in Denver, it's like a cute little spiritual shop, and they were handing out free cards, and I got the Eight of Pentacles, and it was actually also reversed when I received it yesterday. I put it up right here just because the imagery is so cute. It's like a little pumpkin carving jack-o'-lanterns. Well, I guess he looks like he has an onion head. It's an onion head, kind of Halloweenish character carving pumpkins. And I think this is so cool because you can see all of the hard work that he has put in pay off. It's like, okay, there's an accumulation of things here going on, and he seems very happy with his work. Oh, and he has his little familiar, which is like a black cat. And the little dog that I'm taking care of right now that you heard earlier is also looks a lot like this, actually, little black dog. So I'm also drawn to talk about Hecate. She's the goddess of the underworld. I don't know a lot about her, but my friend Mia and I were like looking her up last night because we've been called to her energy lately. And she also is guardian of dogs, and black dogs specifically, lost dogs as well. So, if you're feeling lost, maybe this is a time to call upon Hecate. And, Hecate, a lot of people are scared of working with Hecate, which is valid because she is the goddess of the underworld. So, when we're talking about big topics like life and death, that's really scary. It's like very severe, some of the most intense experiences we have in humanhood. But in our experience last night with calling upon Hecate, honestly, as someone, I'm someone who's experienced a lot of endings in my life. I've experienced a lot of deaths in my life. In fact, my lovely neighbor and friend Nancy just passed away on Halloween this year. And so connecting with Hecate for me was actually really familiar. It was, when I felt her presence, it was very much like, oh, we're like old friends. This isn't, I don't need to be scared of you because you visited me before. Like, I felt this before. And even though death is an intense experience, it's the natural flow of things. And it's actually a really great relief and release of things. Like, I think of my friend Nancy. She, was an older lady and suffered from, a lot of health issues. And she is now at peace. She doesn't have to suffer through those things anymore. And if you can imagine, like, immortality, I should say, it's just like, I can't imagine someone having to continue living through those conditions, when the time's up, the time's up. And so I feel like Hecate is coming through right now for all of us to reassure us that, if anything's ending right now, it's just making room for a new beginning. Labor is something that is painful. It is, I personally, I'm sure there's been certain people who have easy labor experiences. When I'm talking about labor, I'm talking about like birthing a child or birthing a life of some kind. Yeah, I've never heard it be like an easy process. So just know that, like, to birth something new for this new life that is calling and knocking at our doors, we need to be able to do the hard work to like get through that harsh labor in order to bring this new life into fruition. Because Hecate is not only, the goddess of the underworld, she's the giver of life as well. Death and life are one and the same in a lot of ways, because we can't have one without the other. So with the 8 of Pentacles reversed specifically, I feel like the message is to acknowledge how far you've come. Know that you're putting in work. Try not to burn yourself out too. I feel like there's just been a lot of like, I'm feeling almost even like a hustle nature. It's just like, oh, this has got to get done. This has got to get done. This is kind of like, recognize that the security that you've built for yourself, whether that's emotionally, whether that's materially or financially, or even just with our own sense of self-worth, that is the foundation that we can lean on moving forward. And we don't have to be so caught up in the lack or caught up in having to hustle more. Sometimes we get burnt out. And I think that's why this card also came up. The T for 1 came up, because we've got to chill a little bit. If we want to win the race, if we want to win the war, I'm using quote unquote, we have got to pace ourselves and really, it's not about winning the battles, right? It's not about the sprints. It's really about how can we make it through the long run, because life can be really long for a lot of us. A lot of us will have the privilege of living a long time. And so we really want to make sure that we are building a foundation for ourselves, if, our future selves, especially, to have a life that's worth living. Obviously, we want to live in the present now as well, but, it all needs to have a balance, because if we're living fast and hard right now, hustling and staying up late and not getting enough sleep, not nourishing ourselves appropriately, you will pay the consequences of that at some point. Again, if you have the privilege of living long enough, which I'm feeling optimistic for all of us here. So, yes, live every day like it's your last, but also live every day as if you're going to live until you're 100 years old. Don't destroy your body. It's just not worth it. In the end, it's just not worth it. There's certain things that are just not worth the money. There's certain things that are not worth your time. And Taurus, again, that sign of values and life enjoyment, it's calling to us to really call attention to how are we being emotionally nurturing to ourselves in ways that are actually fulfilling and actually grounding us to earth and actually providing us with authentic security that is real. Because there's like, at the end of the day, nothing is really secure. Your partner could leave you. Your partner could die. Sorry, I'm being morbid, but it's Scorpio season, so we're going in it. You could lose all your investments. Like your house could burn down. Like you could lose all your possessions. Like there's nothing actually secure in your life. You could be paralyzed tomorrow. There's so many things that can happen that could sweep this sense of security right from under your feet. So that's why Spirit is calling to us right now to really be aware of what is actually providing us security. What are things that give us a sense of security, like having a savings, like maybe having 500 in the bank, in a savings account just helps you feel a little bit more secure. Even though, it's what is making you feel secure? Is it that best friend that you can go to? Is it that therapist that you can talk to? And how are you finding that also within yourself? Do you trust yourself to get yourself through hardships when you feel them, And, the strength card is also coming up to me right now because, in order to build strength, we need to do the reps to build that. And sometimes, we can only see our strength through the challenges that were presented. So keep all of those things in mind. I feel like Spirit is going a million different places, so I want to hone back into our pick a pile. That was our collective reading, so hopefully you enjoyed that. So now will be the time that we will pick a pile reading. So again, option number 1, we have this astrology tarot deck, and this is, of course, the 5 of Cups would come up at the bottom. Let's I've had so many synchronicities. Scorpio season, like the veil is so much thinner at this time of year, and I feel it, and Spirit's yelling at me. But anyway, option number 1 is the Zodiac tarot deck, and oh my gosh, and look who came up, Strength, just like I said, which is also a Leo card. So yeah, if you're feeling more of like a tarot message, pick option number 1. We also have Celestite, which is a very spiritual stone, blue, just dreamy energy. So if that's resonating for what messages you're feeling like you needed to receive, please pick option number 1. Excuse me. And if you want more of the imagery, like cutesy little oracle, the 52 relaxation oracle deck, then you're going to pick pile number 2, and that comes with this beautiful star moss agate crystal that my lovely friend Rosalie gave to me. So pick your pile, and we're going to begin with pile number 1, the Zodiac tarot, and Celestite. So alrighty, group number 1s, let's see what the cards have in store for you. And we also are going to have a special treat at the end of this reading to pick a good luck charm to see what good luck is coming your way for this time. All right. Card number 1 is the Devil. Card number 2 is the 5 of Cups reversed. Okay. 5 of Cups really wanted to talk to us. And I feel like the 5 of Cups might have even come up in the last reading that I did, like the last recorded reading. So I'll have to, I don't know. I do so many readings, sometimes I forget. But 5 of Cups has definitely been a common card recently. But anyway, the Devil card is the first card that came up. This is a Capricorn card. So if you are a Capricorn, have significant Capricorn placements, or are dealing with a Capricorn right now, this could definitely be confirmation for you at this time. The Devil speaks about our vices. The Devil, there's a misconception about the Devil. The Devil is not necessarily bad. It's honestly, the Devil provides us things like free will and provides us with the pleasures of life that makes it fun to be human. It's not a bad thing to go out and have a drink once in a while. It's not a bad thing to smoke a joint. It's not a bad thing to binge a show on Netflix. These things are not inherently bad. It's not bad to go to the casino once in a while, but the key to all of this is moderation, right? Because when we engage in these behaviors, these addictive behaviors, or dopamine seeking behaviors, I should say, too much, that's when it can become a problem. That's when it's an addiction. That's when it can influence other parts of our lives negatively. And that's when we actually chain ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we are our own devils. We're the ones. I mean, sure, other people can chain us in ways and that's not what we're really talking about here. We're talking about what you can do to empower yourself and to claim the ways that you are being a devil to yourself, which is by not having enough self-control when it comes to these escapism things or with substances. This is an addiction card. This card talks about addiction. And so, when it comes to Capricorn, I guess the stereotype is like, oh, they're addicted to success. They're addicted to, the material world and maybe even just being the big boss, being the top of the food chain. I should say. But this really can be anything. So whatever is sparking your mind right now of like what these things might be, that's what Spirit's really calling to you to be like, hey, moderation could be really helpful because you can free yourself. Instead of, binging a show on Netflix in one weekend it's fine. But if you're doing that every time you're off work or whatever, every time you have a free chance, like, is that really the best way that you can use your time? And like, is that actually serving you? Is that actually offering you a more well-balanced life? And this gets more obvious when we talk about substances like alcohol, which is a literal poison. Again, I'm not here to shame anyone, but it's so normalized in society to just go out, drink whatever, that people forget that it's literally poison. Like, and even studies now are saying that no amount of alcohol is healthy for you. Even if they were saying, even a few years ago that like, oh yeah, a glass of wine every night is actually good for you. It's like, no, they're finding out that it's actually not good at all. It's full of carcinogens. Yeah. And it's not good for you, period. So just keep that in mind. Like, again, you do you. If you want to have a drink after work, that's not a big deal. It's just be real with yourself on how healthy these behaviors are, and be real with yourself if you really are doing an appropriate job with moderating or not. Because this can kind of come up as a warning, like, there's ways that you can liberate yourself. This can also be scrolling or like looking even too much into spiritual guidance from other people besides yourself. We chain ourselves in a lot of different ways. And I'm not saying, like, obviously I'm a reader online. So like I find a lot of value in online readings and collective readings and things like that. And just readings and healings from a lot of different people. I that's a big thing in my life. I love that. But at the end of the day too, you have to make your own decisions in life. You have to, you're the only one. No one's going to save you at the end of the day except for you. No one's going to come save you except for you. And so don't be waiting for someone when literally it's you, and I'm just like looking at this card, and there's so much about addiction that I would love to share because like I have a lot of experience with that myself. And again, this is more of an intense reading than I was like expecting for a Taurus. Nice. But also I guess that makes sense because Tauruses can also be gluttons. They love their food. They love their relaxation time. They are very much slow and steady I guess they can be slow and steady wins the race, but they're slow. I'm an Aries. I love Tauruses, but I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys need to like get with the program. Let's move. But the beauty about Taurus Venus is also like, okay, well, one step at a time. It's less likely that you make mistakes. It's like the tried and true is what's promised. So anyway, a lot of earthy energy. So maybe you are also thinking about your resources, your physical resources. At the time of this recording, SNAP benefits was removed for a lot of Americans at this time. And so a lot of people are feeling food insecure, and that is really scary. Food is how we live. So just try to find security where you can. If you're a person with that issue right now, I see a bunch of new programs popping up here and there, even grocery stores giving food away for free or discounting things or whatever. Just know that things might be more optimistic than you give it credit for. Because you have already built some sort of security, like within your community or within yourself or within, there's something. there's always something. There's always an option, you know. It might not be your most ideal option, but it'll get you through until you can make it to the other side and move forward. So additionally, we do have the Five of Cups. Was that reversed? That was reversed. Am I facing this towards me or you? Sometimes when I do readings for clients, it's facing them, so I'm just interpreting what's facing them, but it's different when I'm talking to a camera, I guess. I feel your energies. Like, I love you being here with me. So anyway, it is going to be reversed. We'll read the reversal. It's the Five of Cups reversed, and this is the card I call crying over spilt milk. If you're a student of mine, you hear me say that probably a lot. but it really is. This is about like focusing on what's lost rather than what you have. And I feel like that's in perfect harmony with this like Capricorn devil card of, you know, sometimes we're using these substances or whatever our, you know, addiction or escapism tendency is. We're using that for... to avoid sometimes the depths of what we're feeling, you know, the heaviness of what's going on. It feels like left and right, there's just like, especially in the media, if you consume a lot of media, there's a lot of negativity. And humans are naturally gravitated towards addressing negativity because that is a survival instinct, right? But the issue is when we're so focused on the issues and the negativity, we actually can develop what's called learned helplessness and not actually feel like there is a way out, and we just we are disempowered ultimately. So if you are feeling drawn to learning more about learned helplessness, I definitely recommend looking that up. It is it's actually something I learned in college, like in my psych classes. They did a lot of rat experiments about how you can literally teach rats, like, anyway, I'm not going to go, well, now the image is in my head, so I don't remember this perfectly. I haven't been in school for a while now, but I believe the experiment was something like they would have like rats on a raft in water, and like the first time they made it impossible for them to escape. So they just learned that there's no use in trying because they're just always going to fail, right? But even when they then put that rat into a solvable, you know, environment where they could get out, the rat didn't even try because it had already learned helplessness, you know, and like that hopelessness. So just keep that in mind. Like, don't train yourself. Don't let the media train you. Don't let, you know, your vices train you to be something that you're not, or to feel feel about things that aren't even true. Because that's the thing that we're all being questioned with right now, is like the reality of things are changing so much, especially with so much technology progressing and things like that. So now's a really good time to remind yourself that everything that you're seeing, especially on a screen, needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Everything that people are saying, period, like, you know, everyone just has a different perspective. Everyone carries bias. Even the most unbiased of people are going to carry some sort of bias. So just keep that in mind. And bias isn't bad. We all live our experiences, and we all have our, you know, things. But just know that, like, one size does not fit all. Just because something happens to one person doesn't mean it's going to happen to you in the same way. Life's not fair. That's the number one thing that I was taught growing up, and the number one thing that I continue to see. I'm a very optimistic person on a day-to-day basis, but also I do have a lot of privilege, and so it's easier for me to gain that optimism and that resilience almost to get through the harder times, because I still do have certain privileges. Like, I'm not going hungry. I'm not, you know, I'm grateful enough to have shelter and not worry about that. And, you know, worst comes to worse, I have family members who could take care of me, you know. Not everyone has that. So just tap into the resources that you do have, though. Everyone has resources of some kind. So keep that in mind. Alrighty. More about the Five of Cups. Spirit is not done with us with this one yet. Definitely not. Five of Cups. This is also, Mia, my friend Mia actually told me something last night in a reading. I'm actually going to read you what she said if I can find it, because she said something about the Five of Cups that really spoke to me, that you all might also benefit from. Five of Cups. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is more about like learning to ride the wave and finding peace and having stability in the storm, because things always turn around. It is an optimistic lesson, and that last message is probably more personal. But I just really liked that energy because I was telling the message came to me, or how do I say this? Sometimes there's so much going on in here. I'm like, where did I leave off? Mia was saying, or I watched a video. I was telling Mia this. Okay, sorry to make this all convoluted. But I was telling Mia about this video that I watched about this monk. Someone had asked this like religious monk, like, what is your goal in life? Is it to be happy? And the monk said, no, my goal in life is to be content, or like to be at peace. That was the word that he said, at peace. Because at the end of the day, like whatever comes up must come down, and whatever comes down must come up. You know, there has to be some sort of balance in things. So if you're riding these really high highs, like I like to, again, think of addicts, like if you are getting that dopamine flooding in your system by doing, say, a drug or something, it might feel really good in this moment, but there's gonna be a time where there's gonna be a come down, and it can be very unpleasant depending on how high that high was or whatever. So the monk was basically saying, like, how can I just be at peace with whatever's happening at any moment in time? This is also like the practice of being in the now, you know, just being present in every moment. And so this is more about like just reminding you that we all have the capability of just riding the wave. There's a lot of change happening. I've said this several times. There's a lot going on astrologically last year, this year, and especially next year, that is profoundly changing all of us on a global scale. So when there's a lot of change, we freak out because it doesn't feel secure and stable, because it's not our comfort zone. But just know that there is a promise of something even better emerging from this. But we have to let go of the desire to be happy all the time, because that's just not reasonable. That's not what life's about. Life is fluid. So, you know, if you're trying to maintain your happiness level up here, that's when we get in trouble with these addictions and stuff, because it's like, oh, I just need to get my other fix. I need to get my fix because I'm not feeling very good now. So I need to get my fix, whether it's scrolling or whatever, getting my dopamine wherever I'm getting it, because I don't feel comfortable. I just saw, you know, all this terrible news online, and now I just need to escape and drink or look at pictures of puppies or something. I don't know. So just ride the wave. Spirit's saying, like, you either sink or you swim, and they really want you to swim. Don't be the cause of your own sinking by not grabbing onto the floaty that's right there. Like, maybe you can't get on the boat yet, but you can hold on to that life-saving floaty until we get you into more stable grounds to get you on the boat, you know, or get you strong enough to even get on the boat, because maybe all you can do is just hold on. You can't even lift yourself onto the boat, you know. But yeah, they're reiterating, like, don't reject the help that you do have, because you have resources that you can tap into. It might not be what you want, you know. You might have to ask your aunt or someone that you don't really like for help. But hey, that help is available to you, and at least you have that to get you by with whatever you're needing right now. Okay? You have enough resources. It's just about tapping into them, okay? Before we get into the good luck, because you do still get a good luck charm, I promise you it's not all bad. This is like, again, this is supposed to be empowering. Like, just don't keep yourself from your own self. Just know that there's a lot of emotional emphasis. That's the cups energy. So really feel your feelings. If you need to let things flow, cry. This is also, anytime I see a 5, it's a call to change. It's a call to break a cycle. So what are certain emotional cycles that are calling to you to be broken at this time? And then this devil card is more earthy. We did talk about that a little bit too. But like, how can, you know, water and earth get along really well. They are both what's called receptive signs, or elements, I should say. So how can we, you know, use the water to nurture the soil to grow, you know, the earth to grow what we want or what we need, and not just like dump the water out without being purposeful and purposeful. So maybe you want to pull out those 2 cards if you have your own deck at home. Maybe you want to pull out those cards and meditate on them for the next couple weeks, because that could maybe serve you really well at this time. So we have our special little good luck treasure chest here. This is what I usually use for clients. If you do a reading with me, you do get to take a card and a good luck charm home with you. So if that interests you, hit me up. But anyway, I'm going to just pick randomly what is calling to group number 1 for their good luck for this Taurus full moon timeless reading. I am so thrilled that you guys got this. So this is kind of hard to see. I don't know who this is. This is a saint of some kind. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it. It's like a little bead. It's a religious figure holding a baby. It could be maybe Joseph holding baby Jesus. It could be Jesus holding some random baby. It could also maybe be a saint of some kind holding a baby. But it's so interesting because I don't usually use religious. Well, I don't often. I shouldn't say don't usually, but religious imagery in my readings necessarily. I did grow up Presbyterian Christian, but it's not something that resonates with me crazy these days. But I do find that every religion has something beautiful to offer spiritually. There's symbolisms that we can honor. And so it's just kind of interesting that I did have this Virgin Mary candle that I literally haven't burned in a really long time here with us. So we have the Virgin Mary, and we also have Joseph and Jesus. Sure, we're going to just say that it's them. So I would say that your good luck is going to be who you find to be family. Family has been coming up a lot, I feel like. Whether that's your chosen family or blood family or spiritual family, pet family, animals, whoever you feel is offering you that safe space to be you and be nurtured. This is healthy family. This is the perfect divine holy family, right? This is a metaphor. If you're not religious or whatever, it's fine. Again, we can pick and choose what resonates with us and leave the rest. That's what our job is as an individual, especially when we're getting collective readings and stuff, to remember that our experience is unique, and this is just a tool to access messages from spirit, but also know that it's not a personal reading, but we can take value out of it, But yeah, and I think too, just there's a divine masculine energy that I'm feeling from this energy and from this cute little bead. And a lot of us don't have a good role model of masculinity, and it's really sad for all of us because men then grow up not really feeling like they can be soft or whatever, because at least in the society that I live in, it's you got to be tough, you can't cry, crying's for girls, and don't be like a girl, or that's gay if you do this XYZ, and it's just the male psyche can often be well, I have to really be in this rigid box or else I'm going to be gay, or people are going to judge me, or I'm less of a man or whatever. But I really think the beauty of this good luck charm is that the divine masculine can be soft. The divine masculine can be, I don't know, I just think of the perfect dad. He's nurturing, he'll teach you things. He wants to take you on fishing trips, and then he'll also bandage up your knee if you get hurt. Basically the divine father is it's a divine mother. I don't know, I'm non-binary, trans, so gender to me is we could talk about that, but it's just a good dad and a good mom, honestly, to me, look identical in a lot of ways. They're going to cook for you, they're going to take care of you, they're going to listen to you if you have issues, they're going to offer you advice, they're going to be real with you and stern with you when you need to get a talking to. They're going to tell you the harsh things that you need to hear, even when you don't want to hear it. So just keep all those things in mind, and just know that that's your good luck, is to start showing up as your idea of the divine parent, of the divine child too. just what does it mean to you to free yourself from also chains of society? Like, I'm thinking about the devil again, like freeing yourself from the gender binary, even like a lot of gender stuff's even coming up right now, because like I know a lot of successful families who the mother is the breadwinner and the father's a stay-at-home dad, and it's a perfectly great family dynamic, even though that's like, I guess, historically reversed. Usually it's like the mom that stays home and the dad goes and provides, and that's another thing that I feel so wounded for men about, is that like their worth is often tied to their ability to provide and to make ends meet and stuff like that. And I just think that's, great for certain people who can make that work, but also that's not everyone's gifts. This is also, I feel like your good luck's going to come from like knowing what your strengths are and knowing what your strengths aren't. So then you can outsource and like ask for help in those ways, or just be real with other people. Be like, hey, I'm not really good at, making a lot of money, but I'm really good at cleaning houses. And so like, maybe we can have an arrangement where we do a trade where I can clean for you and then you can do the service for me or something. You know what I mean? Or you can pay me, whatever it is that you need. But just know that your luck is by knowing your worth, tapping into the divine parent, maybe even healing some familial wounds, because often we inherit our parents' wounds that they were never able to resolve or whatever. So, and by healing ourselves, we heal the people that we love. So just know that you are divinely protected. I think this is so spiritual too. It's just a beautiful, beautiful energy. So just know that, again, what goes down must come up. So if you're in a down moment, don't worry. The wheel of fates will turn eventually. And just count your blessings where they are. Remember that collective reading that we had in the beginning. Like, that's where the gold is. So thank you all for listening to this reading and joining me today. Again, my name is Bren. I use they, them pronouns. I am in Denver, Colorado, and I do a lot of astrology workshops and tarot workshops. So if you are interested in attending any of those, please check out my website, fortuneofthefool.com. I will link that in the show notes. Also, if you want a personalized reading, if you want something like this, maybe even want me to read your birth chart, we can get into the astrology of things, into the tarot of things, into the psychic mediumship of things. Please feel free to book a reading with me as well. Again, you can find all that information at fortuneofthefool.com. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. I always love to know what piles people pick and what they get out of it. So the more you engage, the more people can see this and receive the messages that they need. So thanks, y'all. See you soon. And without further ado, we are going to now start with pile number 2. You are a pile number 2 if you picked this 52 relaxation card oracle deck. I still don't know the actual name of it, but it's something 52 something. But anyway, you are pile number 2 if you picked this deck and the moss agate star crystal. And I actually want to start with talking about this crystal because I absolutely love this crystal, and I'll put the good luck charm from the last group away. We don't want to get that confused. This is moss agate, and it's a star, and I love, like, if you were drawn to it, I love the way it feels too. It is a very grounding stone. Moss agate, I like to think of a lot with Taurus as well, because Taurus is an earth sign, very much drawn to the natural beauties of this earth. So, rocks, for example, crystals, those are natural beauties of this earth. And it's kind of combined also with like a man-made element, it's polished. So stars also to me symbolize, the star card in tarot, which is about your hopes and dreams and like the bigger picture of things, and seeing, it's like you look up at the sky and you just understand that like everything's just so much bigger than we could ever even understand, so with that, just keep that in mind for this reading. Like maybe certain things like need to be polished a little bit for you to see the bigger picture, or for you to feel more purpose in the bigger picture. But ultimately at the end of the day, and I did see a shooting star the other night actually too, it was so magical, and And so just know that you can wish upon a star anytime. Like, you are the star that you can wish upon. You don't have to actually see a shooting star to make your wishes and to be your wishes. So, and just, yeah, your dreams can be reality. Like, I love that this is like so earthly. It's like a real tangible thing you can hold, and it's so dreamy and like perfect. And my friend Rosalie gave it to me, and so it has like another special layer of importance and magic. Rosalie's like one of the most magical people I know. So yeah, lean on the people. I feel like maybe that's a sign too that you should like continue connecting with the people in your life that make you feel bright and shiny, who makes you feel grounded in this earthly realm, but also like you can shoot for the stars. You know, we need both. We can't be so delulu that we lose sight of what is actually possible, but we can't be so stuck in the reality of things that we lose sight of dreaming big. So let's see what cards we have for you. This is funny to me because this is giving a little bit of a similar energy to the last group. So I'm going to show you this card first because that's what I was really laughing at. This is called the Great Escape card. I hope you can see it. I never know what you guys can see on these videos. I do like meticulously set it up at the beginning to make sure it's good, but you know, once I'm recording, then I don't know if this is in focus. I don't know even how close that is because I don't know, things are zoomed out. I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. Maybe that's what Spirit's also saying, because this looks like a movie to me. It's like a movie night or like a rom-com. You got the popcorn, you got the drink to watch this like movie, and then you can escape into this fantasy, right? And the last group got the Devil card, which I kind of see as similar, which is like, there's nothing wrong with having a little escapism here and there. Again, that's how we dream big. That's, you know, we get ideas through escaping from reality. Sometimes we can think bigger when we're not so stuck in reality, but everything in moderation. So the Great Escape, I'll read this to you as well, because I don't usually like reading cards because I'm like, I can just interpret them, but sometimes they'll have some gold in there that you probably need. Okay, it says, ooh, some confirmation barking over here. You know, whenever things like that happen when I'm doing readings, I always like to think, like, okay, pay special attention to this. This is the time, like, it's like a wake-up call. It's like, bow wow, hello, are you listening? So, hi, Kiki. Hi. So, okay. All right, it says, when your life gets too crazy, escape into another reality. Get lost in someone else's drama for a change. Rent a movie or curl up with a bone-chilling mystery. For a highbrow escape, attend a play, musical, or opera. For a lowbrow escape, if you must, let yourself be hypnotized by a video or computer game. Ooh, I like that because it's giving you a few options. It's like, there's different kinds of escapism. You can go, you know, if you create a piece of art, like you can get really into the flow of it and just be, you know, escaping reality by just being so invested in an activity, right? But you could also just be like doom scrolling and escaping through a screen, you know, which, you know, again, scrolling itself isn't bad. It's just everything in moderation. So I feel like this is a similar energy to the first deck. And so if you were called to, like, if you were feeling pile 1, 2, maybe you also want to listen to that pile to get more messages. But yeah, I'm just feeling like you need a good balance of rest and restoration and not being so much in the hustle. Again, like not being so much into the hustle culture of things. Like if that feels natural to us because we feel like we have to, we're going to keep doing it. But if we can kind of rearrange our life to be like finding those pockets of escape or pockets of relaxation or rejuvenation, that's when we're going to have more opportunity to actually receive more. So sometimes when we're chasing, like, again, like the hustle culture is crazy. Like, oh, I need to have 3 jobs because I'm not going to be able to pay the bills if I don't. And, you know, sometimes that is the reality for some people. So I'm not saying that like this is your specific situation. I'm just trying to give an example. But maybe you just do 2 jobs, 2 part-time jobs, and then you have a little bit of breathing room to, you know, do a hobby or like, I don't know, like also just be available for other opportunities for your needs to get met, because maybe you're trying so hard to hustle to make money to pay your bills, but maybe you can actually get certain financial assistance so you don't actually have to do that. Or maybe there's someone who actually really needs your expertise in something, like maybe someone just needs a lot of help reorganizing their house, and you just happen to have a really great talent for rearranging things and you love to do it and they're willing to pay you for that. You know, it's like, don't miss out on opportunities that actually could be nourishing for you by just trying to make ends meet in ways, anything that will work, you know. I'm feeling like a sense of desperation a little bit, and Spirit is just confirming to you and just saying like, hey, things are not as dire as your brain is making them out to be. Things are not as dire as certain things that you're absorbing are making things seem. Just give some things time and make sure that you have time of rest to then you'll just have a better quality of life too, and you'll have better opportunities if you're not trying to force something that's not meant for you. Okay. We also have this object of relaxation. This is a cute card. It has a nice little pink seashell on it. And when I look at it, it looks like the magic conch. If you are a SpongeBob fan, this looks like the magic conch, which basically in SpongeBob, it's been a while since I've seen this episode, but if I remember correctly, SpongeBob is lost in the woods with Patrick and Squidward. And this is actually such a perfect metaphor for what I just said, so I'm so excited. I love when Spirit does this. This is great. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so they're all lost in the woods, right? And so they're like, so SpongeBob and Patrick are like, they have this magic conch. I believe it fell from the sky. And they're like, cool, you can pull the string on the magic conch and it can give you an answer. It'll talk to you, right? So they ask the magic conch basically what they should do, and the magic conch just says nothing. Don't do anything. You don't need to do anything. And so Patrick and SpongeBob just are sitting there in the wilderness, like doing nothing, just like the conch says. And Squidward's like freaking out because Squidward's like, you guys, we are lost right now. Like, we need food. We need all this stuff, like shelter. Like, so Squidward is out there hustling and trying to get all of these needs met. And then all of a sudden, a perfectly planned picnic basket, picnic setup falls from the sky right in front of Patrick and SpongeBob. So they have all the food that they need. They have all their nourishment. They literally have everything they need. And and Squidward doesn't get any of it because he didn't listen to the conch or something. So the lesson of this is sometimes you actually will get more by doing less. And again, in a society, in a capitalist society specifically, we are taught to like hustle, and we're taught to like, you know, our value comes from our work ethic. And this is just, I think there's a great awakening happening around the world right now where it's like, why are we working so hard for these things when we're not even getting the benefits of a lot of these things, and we're not getting our health taken care of, you know? So object of relaxation, definitely taking a rest is important. I'm going to read this to you now. Find an object that you like which isn't breakable and fits easily in your hand. Smooth stones work well for this. Hold the object in your hands and focus on its qualities. Is it cold? Is it rough in spots? Really think about the property the object has. Imagine you are the object. What does it feel like to be a smooth and cold stone? Or imagine you can crawl into it. Take this object of relaxation with you when you travel, or keep it in your pocket during stressful meetings as a reminder of the calm you can always find your way back to. Wow. I really love that invitation. I think that's great. I one of my favorite gifts to give the most stressed people in my lives is like a palm stone. So they can just have a little something like, it's nice. It's a crystal is a mere fidget toy in a lot of ways, you know. It's like a really nice thing to play with, and also they do have certain spiritual properties that you can also remember when you take these things around with you. So I want to tell you about this crystal that I have. It's black tourmaline. Actually, it's a polished palm stone, and I always have this in my readings. I will always have a black stone of some kind in my readings because it's an absorber. Anything dark is going to absorb things. So if you're someone who's maybe needing an object to absorb negative energies or stress or things like that, maybe a dark object would be good for you. And it's just any color. Like, it doesn't have to be a crystal for you if you are more resonating with something else. But if color symbolism matters to you, I would recommend that. Anything lighter is more reflective. So I always have selenite with me as well because it is it charges other crystals. It's just like a very high vibrational, wonderful stone. So maybe you want to, like, I feel like spirit is calling to you to have like some sort of object reminder that you take with you on a daily basis to remind you that like things aren't so serious, and like you can rely on other things to, you deserve relaxation, definitely. And sometimes, again, you might get more if you do less. Because again, if you're doing so much, you might miss an opportunity. You might be working those 3 jobs or whatever that you don't even have time to go to the supermarket, even with your friend. And then there's someone that your friend knows there that they could have introduced to you to change your entire life. Maybe they had a job ready for you that would pay 3 times as much as all 3 of your jobs combined, but you missed it because you're just so stressed, hustling, And I know that's like really hard to break away from because it's like, well, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get food on the table? Whatever your stress is about. It's just like, in the grand scheme of things, like the amount of time, like the place that we're in right now, it's just so temporary. It feels like, especially these last few years have been really heavy for a lot of people, but just know that everything at the end of the day is temporary. And just to find your relaxation, find your escapism in those healthy ways where you can, take care of yourself, and don't run yourself into the ground, because spirit is promising you that it's not necessary. Another thing is this card is so pink. Pink is symbolic of the heart chakra. This is about really trusting yourself, trusting your heart, and just knowing when the right thing is meant for you and when it's not. And the perfect example that's coming to mind is like, I was working for the government up until a year and a half ago, and there were some work changes that they were really not sitting right with me. And I had been doing readings professionally already at this time, but I was really scared. Like, I had all these government benefits, like my job was secure and all these things, but I was not in alignment with where the trajectory of my job responsibilities were going. So I had to make that really hard heart choice where, like, in my mind, I was like, it's not reasonable for you to quit this job. Like, you have to keep your benefits. Like, this, basically there was also part of me that was like, you're not going to find anything better, And there was a lot of doubt that I felt like, can I actually make this work? Can I actually do tarot readings full time? Can I actually be a professional astrologer full time? Can I do this? And I had to take the leap. I had to trust my heart, because I was like, you know what? I can't last here forever at this government job, And, I will say the first year was really hard. Like, I struggled a lot. I wasn't making a ton of money, but I made it happen. I made it work. And now I'm in a place where I feel a lot more confident. I still don't feel like amazingly secure because, there's always, again, what is actually secure in life. But I think now too, like, now the government shut down. And if I was still at that government job, would I even be getting paid right now? No. So I actually, by listening to my heart, I actually feel like I'm more secure now. Even though I had moments of insecurity and things like that, I figured it out, and I trusted myself, and I trusted that was what I needed to do, So just know that sometimes the thing you need to do isn't always the logical thing. Your brain can maybe talk you out of it, but it probably is the right thing. So just trust your heart. It's not going to steer you wrong, as long as you're being also realistic. Don't be so delulu. Like, dream big. Again, dream big, but also stay in the earth realm as well. Stay in the realm of reality. Wonderful. Well, I believe those are all the messages that I have for you at this time. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this reading, please, please, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I always like to know which pile you picked, if you picked number 1 or number 2. I also just love to see any information that you picked up on that was really resonating with you. If you want to share your story, I love building community. So if you want to build community with me in the comments, please do. If you also want a personalized private reading with me, I do that as well. Professional astrology and tarot psychic medium readings. You can book with me at fortuneofthefool.com if that interests you, both online and in person. If you're in Denver, come in person. I swear, it's worth it. It's much better in person. Online is totally great too. It's just, I want to meet you. I think it's just more personable and wonderful. I also, if you are in the Denver area, I do a lot of workshops. And if you want to learn more about astrology, if you want to learn more about tarot, I host workshops every month. Check out Fortune of the Fool to get more information on that. And do I have anything else I want to share with you? I don't think so. Happy Taurus Full Moon if you're watching during this time, and stay safe and stay foolish, y'all.